Hey everybody, Coach Mark here. I missed last Friday's podcast because life happens, but also because I've been working really hard to get the launch out for something I'm very excited about sharing with you, and you can learn more about on my website. But I'll tell you briefly, it is the next round of my group coaching course called the Unleash Creativity Club. If you head over to my website, there's a video of people who actually took the course. So if you're curious if the course is for you, you can watch this video. You can see all of the people, not all of the people, but some of the people who agreed to be on video to share their experience of the course and what it's like and what they got out of it. So you can actually just go and hear from other people what it is that they got out of it and see maybe it's for you. If you do think it's for you, you can find me on social media. You can send me a message if you're curious, or registration is open. There is an early bird option that's going to end around October 22nd, so you have a few days, and if you want to reach out to me, you know how to find me. So let's get to the meat of this week's podcast, which is, I don't have a fancy title for it, but I want to tell you a story that really got me to shift the perspective on basically how I create a fulfilled life. And I'll give you an exercise at the end that I did that actually got me into coaching. And I'll tell you, like, the way I feel right now, I'm doing the most fulfilling work of my life. And I love having that feeling every day. So I was having a conversation with another coach. She was a leader, a high-level person at the World Bank, and now runs coaching organizations internationally. And she was telling me about a client that she had. And this was a client who was very, very successful, was making lots and lots of money and was working very hard for that. And part of the reason they did that is because one thing they knew they wanted was a very fancy, all the bells and whistles kinds of vacation. So they would, but they weren't really happy because they were working so hard throughout the year. And the question that she asked was, well, what is it that you're getting out of those vacations? And would you rather work hard and kind of be miserable for 50 weeks a year and just to have those 2 weeks? Or would you rather take maybe a job that doesn't get you all the money, doesn't get you those fancy vacations, but gets you the things that you would get out of those vacations? Time with family, time away, that kind of thing. Would you rather have that more consistently throughout the year, even every day? And hopefully you're the kind of person who would go for option 2. But sometimes the thing is, when we're really digging underneath and figuring out, well, what do we get out of having the things that we want? Sometimes it feels like we're letting go of something really valuable. There's lots of things that we all want in our life, all these shiny things. And we don't realize that letting go maybe of some of those things in the short term can get us the kind of fulfillment and joy that we want in our life, again, literally every day. So I'll give you an exercise that I did. And this is the exercise that I did when I was feeling really down, really dejected, really lost. And this is what got me into the coaching work that I do. And I'll just tell you the way I feel, having done this exercise, having gotten really clear on what it is, what kinds of joy I want in my life, I'm doing the most fulfilling work of my life right now. I love the clients I have. I love the group program I'm running. I'm getting to see people have these breakthroughs and unleash their creativity, whether it's actual art or, someone who's a healthcare exec or someone who's a, advisor to the president, whoever it is. I love that kind of that hit when someone actually does the work and actually gets, their own breakthrough. So here's the exercise. I'm rambling on. The exercise is pretty simple. You know that I love lists, so hopefully if you're a regular listener, you've got a journal where you're doing some of these exercises. And what I did when I was really feeling like I don't know what my next chapter looks like, this was a big one. I made 3 lists. The first list is a list of kind of everything that I've done. So it's the art gallery, it's the painting, it's the illustration, it's parenting, it's being a partner, it's the jujitsu that I do, and there's going to be a whole episode on how great that is. So I listed all of those things. And then that's list number 1. List number 2, well, the thing you do with list number 1 is you circle all the things that felt joyful. They may all feel joyful, they may not. But I circled all the things that felt joyful. So the second list was taking all of those circled items and then listing out like what was really involved in doing those things. So for example, the art gallery, yes, we talk to artists, we find new artists, we work with artists. We also There's also emails to answer and social media to manage, and there's customer service and, getting people paid and all of that stuff. So I made a list of everything that's involved with that. And then with that, I circled the things that brought me joy, and not all of them do. I'm very fortunate to have somebody who actually handles the things that I don't want to do, that don't bring me joy. So that's the second list. So now I have a list of all of the things that I've done or do that brought me joy, and what specifically, and in the process of designing my life, it's important to know, like, what is the specific tasks, that I would be doing every day that bring me joy. So then I take all of those circled items, those little those subtasks of the things that brought me joy, and I put that in a third list. And so the thing that you can do with this exercise is look at that third list as a job description. And the question to ask is, who does this? How do I create a life, or can I create a life? Is there a job out there? Do I need to create a job? Do I need to go get more training? That's a further exercise. But seeing that third list where I've taken those circled items and just put them in a list by themselves, it's very easy for me to see how would I create something that is just the things that bring me joy. And when I looked at those things, so much of it was in the teaching I do, and in the conversations I have with friends and family, and in doing stuff for the art gallery, even on the mats in jiu-jitsu. The thing that really brings me joy is seeing other people have breakthroughs. It may be different for you. You may actually get joy in the process of whatever it is, creating art, creating wealth, creating the whatever it is, that the work that you want to create. Or it may be something like it was for me, feeling totally different. And back to the original point, sometimes we pursue these joyful pursuits and it feels like we're letting something go. I'm going to share something with you that feels actually pretty vulnerable to share, because you're not really supposed to do this, but the fact is, and I was talking to one of my clients today about it, I'm an artist. I make art. I sell art. I have an art gallery. And I'm actually doing a lot less of that now in pursuit of this joyful work. I will come back to it, and I do still do it. I just don't do it at the pace I was doing before. And that was a difficult decision for me. But it was a lot easier for me to do that, knowing that I was being true to my much deeper purpose and the values that I have in the world. Seeing these three lists and getting really, really clear on what I want to create in the world. So there's your exercise for the week. There's your insight for the week. I hope it's been valuable for you. Once again, if you want to learn more about these tools or exercises, or just have a conversation with me, so much of this works a lot better with a coach, because you can start to discover what's maybe getting in your way, why aren't you doing it, or what's scary about it for you, and get different perspectives on how to approach these things. I love doing the work that I do, and if you're interested, you can find out more at markscheffcoaching.com. So I look forward to seeing some of you online after this podcast. I look forward to seeing some of you in the group program. And for everybody else, I will see you next week on the podcast. Thanks very much for listening. Have a great weekend, everybody.